What's up everybody, JJ here. Today we're going to be building something I've always wanted to build, the perfect top-down camera rig. So many times in videos I'm trying to explain things and you either have to put a camera over your shoulder at a desk to try to get that angle, but those perfect top-down shots really add a special dynamic that I think those slight angled shots just don't quite capture. And now that I have this space that I'm going to make the perfect place for videos, and there's a closet, we're going to make that perfect top-down camera rig inside there. So I want to talk you through what I've already done up to this point. So there was a wooden rod hanging across the closet for like hanging clothes previously, but we're going to be replacing that wooden rod with a metal rod that I've got right here, and going to be mounting it securely into the wall instead of the previous. It just had standard curtain rods, so it's just sort of U cups on both sides and the rod sits inside of it. This will be screwed into the wall. The hardware we're using, this rod was a black plumbing pipe from Lowe's that I picked up and spray painted. These are the spray paints I use. Initially I was thinking it'd be cool to add just a really dark gray, could be a little more interesting than a solid black one. So I picked up this Krylon. It's matte deep gray, but when I painted it, here's a picture I'll show. It was not very dark gray. It looked very boring gray. It just wasn't really what I was going for. I wanted a really dark gray. So then I just stopped by Target and picked up this Rust-Oleum Universal flat black, and I love it. It's so matte. It was so easy to put on. No streaks, nothing, and it's a nice matte color. You could probably see how it's not reflecting super well. And as you can see with the pegboards back here, things in this room reflect a lot more than I wish they did. So it's hard to try to bounce the light around in a way that doesn't make too many reflections. So going with flat I think will be way better. For the attaching of the camera, I got this super clamp that's made by SmallRig. It opens up to, I think it's about 1.5 inches wide of a pipe that they say it can grab onto. We're going to be using only a 3/4 inch pipe, so I think that'll be great. This clamp can clamp onto anything round, or you could probably grab onto something square as well. It's got a 1/4 inch threaded mount and a 3/8. So I used my bag of attachments. This is another really great thing if you're rigging out anything. Highly recommend picking up a bag of these. You never know when you're going to need an adapter. I switched the 1/4 inch female screw to this male 3/8. This one is a Binro, just ball head mount. This is just something I had around, so I'm going to screw this one together. And this uses the same mounting plate that I use on my fluid head for my regular tripod, so I can easily take the camera off and it's ready to mount in this one or that one. Switching back and forth shouldn't be that big of a problem. This one should be a fairly easy mounting project. I've got my impact drill and some 2-inch wood screws, and we'll just screw it into the wall. So now let's take it into the closet. So now we're here in the closet. It's going to be a little echoey in here. So luckily, this is still here. This is the midpoint that sort of supports the previous curtain rod that was in here, but it'll be a good midpoint that kind of will hold it in place while I screw it into the wall. The walls will be mostly what's holding this up, but this will add a little bit of support in the middle. Also, there's these marks on the wall from where I painted around the curtain hanger, so now I kind of have a spot to line it up at, but I do have a level here that I'm going to use to really help me level it. Once you get one screw in, that really helps hold it, and then you just put the rest of the screws in. And for those of you who haven't used an impact drill before, that knocking sound isn't me stripping out the screws. That's just how this thing ratchets down and adds a lot of instantaneous torque, sort of knocks it into place. Now it's time to move on to the other side. So same thing on this side, make sure it's nice and level, line everything up, hold it all in place, and then put those screws in. And now it's fully mounted up here. When I put my whole weight on there, it deflects down about 1/8 inch and then is caught by this middle bar. And this bar is really sturdily mounted in there. And with this super clamp, I really like that it gives you a lot of options for mounting along here. So I'm going to start just right in the middle. So for testing it, I'm not able to rotate it at all, and I can't tighten it down anymore. So make sure you jiggle on it and then try to tighten it more. Jiggle some more, so make sure there's no slack anywhere in the clamp. But it seems super well rigged on there. So now I think it's ready for the camera. Let's get that perfect top-down shot. And this is the final shot. This is the top-down view, and I think it looks really good. This opens up so many possibilities of how to film things. For example, if If I'm trying to do these close-ups of an FPV drone, I can zoom in here and it gets great close-up shots like this. Also with this shallow depths of field, this is only a f4 lens that I'm shooting on right now, but with this being about 6 inches above these batteries back here, the batteries are already super blurred out, so the shallow depth of field works really well on here. But I could also put some macro rings on this lens and then I could get even closer. Currently there is a limit to how close I can get, but this setup is good for explaining things, or if I needed to do some soldering, this is a great angle to see what I'm soldering. Or for unboxings, for example, this is the Sokani Tiny that I'm working on a review for now. It's a lav microphone kit, but great for unboxing like this. It shows you everything that's inside of here and how I work with it. Or lens reviews, for example. This is just a mouse pad that I'm using right now. But with this grid pattern, or with a different grid, I could see how these lines work and could show how the lens distortion works at the edges of the lens, and great for good close-up shots like this. Probably some thumbnails you'll be seeing for this top-down angle. Well, that about wraps it up. This was quite an easy project, way easier than I thought it was going into it. Simply mounting a bar, since the wall already had wood blocks over there, and this rig already works so well to line up the camera straight, pointing straight down. There's so many great uses I'm going to get out of this. A few tweaks I will have to do in the future. I'm going to get some lighting in here. I think on this shelf up here I can mount a bunch of LED lights underneath and rig up some custom lighting solution for that. That'll be a separate video. Make sure you subscribe down below so you don't miss it. I'm also going to have to do some sound treating in this closet because I can already hear such an echo in here. I'm trying to do so much with this audio to get it working, but that's going to be a video soon to sound treat this entire room, and part of that video will be this closet. But that about wraps it up for this video. It's going to be a quick one today. Hope you guys found something useful out of it. Let me know in the comments down below if you built this yourself and what you would do differently. I hope you guys have an amazing day out there, and I hope maybe this inspires your next project. I'll see you in the next video.